Hello everyone and welcome to my ASMR channel. Last week, Dr. Andrew Michaels introduced these Rune Stones. That's right. And he did a reading on himself. Now those stones look like this. Little gray, tiny stones. Today, we're going to use ones that are a little bit bigger, but they're brownish. By the same artist, TheRockinRaven. Now they blend into this table quite a bit. So what we want to do is we'll put these away, move them off to the side, and we will get us a cloth. And I got this nice old antique white linen cloth, and we'll spread it out. There we go, just like a nice big old tablecloth. And we'll spread it out. I think that'll show up a lot better. Now, today, let's see here. We're going to do a reading with these stones. There you go. Put them back in. Shake them up real good. Now, today's reading is on one of our subscribers, AlternateAurora. Now, my good friend, she's a new friend. She does ASMR videos, and her channel name is AlternateAurora. She has allowed us to do a reading with these Rune Stones. And I don't know her. I don't know her personally. I know her through her videos, and I know her as a person. She's a very nice lady, young lady. But I don't know her. So she'll have to tell me how accurate this Rune Stone reading is. So first things first, we'll shake up the stones, and then we'll dump a few out in my hand, and we're going to do a casting. Now, we want to make sure and we do a casting. Now, for the purposes of what we're doing today, we're only concerned with, from right to left, the ones that are facing up. Now, this is a very particular reading because there's no past. Only the fortune can be looked at in the present. All the rest were face down. So I'm going to randomly take one, and we're going to call that the past stone. And because it was face down, and it was random, we picked it randomly, we're going to read it opposite of what it would be if it was face up. Okay, does that make sense so far? Okay, now, let me get out my notes. Yes, I always bring my notes. You have to have your notes. And I have all of the Rune Stones written down here in my notes. And we'll start right to left to right. And we'll read them and give my interpretation of what I think AlternateAurora's life is like in the present. Now this one is, let me see. I'm not very good at reading these yet. Shows you how good I am. I have to look through my notes every time. But the idea is I want it to be real. This is how I interpret them. Okay? And I'm not trying to foretell the future. I'm trying to give insight on the person. Something that they can use in their concrete interpretation of what I think might help them in their life, in the current. Now this one is the Yew Tree, this stone right here. And it is stability, doing the right things, patience, perseverance, endurance. Decided what is the right way to get the things accomplished in your life. Cannot be reversed. So this is a standard. This person has no gray area in concerns with these abilities in her life. She's very patient. She's very stable in her life, and she's a rock. She's able to be a rock for the people in her family and her friends that come in contact with her. That's how I interpret this one. Okay? This next one is yes, the sacred horse. Now this came up in mine. The balance of things in the universe. Stability. Move forward carefully, focusing on the tools that will help you get there. This tells me, with this one, that stability and being an anchor, a true anchor to your family and friends, is the focus of your life in the present, and that you want to be a positive influence in the lives of people around you. Now this is very important. These two accommodate each other and say a lot about you as a person. You're not all willy-nilly out there just doing your thing. You're a rock, an anchor, somebody to bounce ideas off of, somebody to get a degree of confidence, and somebody to rank their own life as a standard. This is very important, and they do go very well together. So I'm very curious how this one will play into it. Now this one, I think, is earlier in my notes. Yes, this is wealth. Now, this one is cattle. Abundance through effort, inheritance of self and self-value, material gain, earned income, success, happiness, and wealth. Now, I could be reading this completely wrong, but this says to me that you may not be a person of wealth, but you're wealthy in many ways in your life, not just in monetary ways. People who come in contact with you, they see you, and you've inherited great wealth from the people behind you, and you're willing to share that wealth with many people in your life. That's how I interpret that. Now, you may come from a wealthy family. You may have some family money, and your life may be easy in respects to how the economy treats you. But the true value of you as a person is that you're wealthy in your heart. Even without material items, even without monetary items, monetary wealth, basically a big savings account, you're a very wealthy person. Because you share these positive qualities that came before in your life. And these positive qualities are a matter of great wealth that you are using to make the world a better place. That's how I interpret the present and the kind of person you are in your personal life and how you present yourself to the public. Now, as I said before, we're going to read your future. Now, usually in the future, there's a problem, could be a problem. And this stone is the cycle of 1 year. So we're looking at 1 year into the future. So the year 2015. That's how I'm going to look at it. So we're not looking past 2015. We're looking at this year with the present qualities that you exhibit, all positive, all foundational, good things in your life. What does the new year bring? And we read that reaping of a reward when your world seems stagnant. Harvest the seeds you have planted, gain fruition, things happening in their own time and space when they are supposed to. This cannot be reversed. Basically, if you continue being a rock, a positive influence, sharing the wealth of yourself as a person, this doesn't mean give money away to people or donate. This means you as a person sharing your wealth, your good heart with the world, and being an anchor to those around you and a supportive member of your family. The next year will reap great benefits to you and everybody in your life. This is an amazing read. I do not know AlternateAurora. I do not know her, except that I like her as a person. She is a positive influence in my life. She's an anchor, somebody you can go to. And she will leave you feeling positive and give you confidence in your life. And she shows that through her ASMR videos. And furthermore, she spreads the wealth of her heart out in her art. Her artwork of her ASMR videos is splendid, wonderful, uplifting, pleasant, and very, very different than the normal average ASMR artist. She mixes background sounds and music with her videos, where most ASMR artists do not do sound mixing. So it's different, it's intriguing, it's innovative. And that's her wealth, sharing her wealth, her positive abilities with the world. And in the future, if she continues to do this, great abundance of a harvest will come back to her and to her family, and they will benefit from the greatness that she has shared through her wonderful gifts and talents. That's how I interpret this. Now, we never want to be negative unless that's what's dictated. In this case, I can say up to this point, not a thing negative. This is the most positive Rune Stone reading I have ever had the courtesy of witnessing. And it's extraordinary. The randomness of these stones shows me the deep metaphysical connection between AlternateAurora and this reading. I don't believe in metaphysics, but I can definitely see how someone as positive and wonderful as her would shine through in any reading. In this case, more so. This is staggering to behold, I must say. Now, I promised that we're going to look at the past, and we're going to look at it in reverse because the stones were all down in the past. Only these stones were facing up, all positive. The benefits of the future and the present are going to continue for this wonderful person, no matter what happened in the past. The past is the past. The past she can avoid by simply going forward with her talent and her great wealth of heart. And she should fear nothing from the past because it is truly behind her, both physically and spiritually. But for the matters of this reading, we are going to flip this over and read this in the reverse. Okay. All right, that's the yew tree there. And this is the sun. The circle of completion, wholeness, the sun. The path to awareness and self-knowledge. See your dark side, that which makes you destructive to yourself and others. Seek change to heal and be complete with yourself. This cannot be reversed. Now, if we reverse it, even though it cannot be reversed, that is, read it in reverse, it tells me so much. That any time she ignores her gifts, ignores her talents, doesn't use her wealth wisely, she's not complete. She's not whole. Her path to awareness and self-knowledge is cut off. The future is cut off anytime AlternateAurora refuses to see the positive and the light and only sees the darkness. Depression, self-loathing, and pity, self-pity, are her enemies. And the reverse of this is that the past, as we said, is the past. And she must never, never pity her position in the universe. She needs to look forward. And she needs to be proud of her gifts, proud of her art, and proud of her works, and go forward, refusing to give up in all aspects of her life, friends, family, and professionally. Great rewards, great reaping of wealth, and great reaping of, wealth, and great spiritual gifts will come to her as long as she remains positive in her life. This reading tells me that she's a giving person and a selfless person, and you can see that in her artwork. But when it comes to self-loathing, depression, self-pity, anger, being a quitter, her life is shut out. It is closed off. And she's left with nothing. This is the person she is. This is the person that she is. She is a positive role model to her community, her peers, and her family benefits from it. I don't think I could say anything else on this matter. I've done a reading. It's been very random, and it's been very stark. To say that I am overwhelmingly positive for the benefits of pleasing a friend would be an insult to me and to her. I've only read what was offered to me, and that is what I read to you. Could these stones be interpreted in a different way? Possibly. My own reading last week, through the character of Dr. Andrew Michaels, had some scary revelations and some scary future insights. I see nothing of that in this reading. And I hope that that is the future for my friend, AlternateAurora. And I hope she enjoys this reading. Now, the trick is this correct? We'll all have to wait and see if she believes this is correct or a total misinterpretation of her life and what's happening to her in her current life. So it's up to her to be the judge, and also for her in the comments below to write what she thinks of the reading. So it's going to be very interesting. And possibly in my next reading, I will read her evaluation of it. That would be a lot of fun. Okay. Now, what I've done is added her stones back into the pouch. And I've decided to do a bonus reading. first we want to do is shake them up and get them as random as possible. Start over with my notes. Dump a whole fistful out. Dump a few into my left hand. I did the throw with my right hand. This time I'm going to throw with my left hand. Okay. And I am going to do a reading for the lady who gave me these rune stones. Who made them? She actually made them. And her name is Raven, who I talked about last time. And her channel is TheRockinRaven. Now both AlternateAurora and TheRockinRaven, you can get links for them by clicking on the annotations in this video or clicking on the links below in the description box. Please tell them I said hello. TheRockinRaven is a wonderful story writer and a burgeoning children's book author and an animator and an artist. She's so talented, and she makes these little craft rune stones for people. Now, I'm not reading the ones that are down below. I will put these in order. That's the past, that's the future and the past. And these we will discard because they were face down. Okay. And we will read them from left to right again. And this is Raven's reading. She also asked me to do a reading for her. Okay. This one, this first one right here, is the estate. Uthala. Ancestral property. Inheritance. Freedom and independence through releasing ideas and things that keep you stuck. You will feel free. You will inherit from someone. Now, the reverse of this is not letting go of outmoded ideas and concepts. You will feel stuck. I think this tells me a lot about Raven. She cast out her old ideas on life that she was raised with. And she brought in new ideas, new freedom to her life, to express and to experience life in a way that she thought was the correct way for her to view the world around her. So this tells me a lot because I know her personally, and freedom and independence of releasing old ideas and things that keep her stuck in the mud. That's her. That's Raven right there. And I can see that. I can see that plain as day. It's important, people, that when things aren't working in your life, don't hold back. Be able to experience new things. Read, study, find things that do work in your life. If you're not going forward in the correct direction in your life, then stop. It's not a wall. Your life isn't over. There's the wall. Turn 90 degrees and go forward in a new direction. That's what this is talking about. And that's my friend Raven, 100%. So this is a little scary right now. We're getting into some metaphysical areas that I'm almost not comfortable with, because this reading is very different than AlternateAurora's. The next one is this simple little X rune. And that is, hope you don't mind my notes, but I've been told that people like hearing paper being rotated over. It's not that X. This one is Gebo or Gibo, the gift of harmonic relationships. Unity with self and all others, especially with our higher selves. Nature and all things around us cannot be reversed. Talk about freaky. When you meet Raven, you're either her friend or your enemy. If you're her enemy, she'll find you out. Her heart's as big as a whale. Her heart has room for everyone in it. But she knows when people take advantage of her. This stone tells me that with those she connects with, they are truly in her heart. She doesn't look at you as rich, poor, ugly, handsome, pretty. She looks at your soul. She looks at you and the value of you as a person. How you come to her, how you treat her husband, how you treat her children, how you treat her family. This tells me, connected with this, no nonsense. Throw out what doesn't work. Get what does work. Fool me once, fine. Fool me twice, it's on me. You're gone. That's Raven, right there. And a heart big enough for the whole world. If she could, she'd put everybody in there with her. Now this next one, I hope she likes my reading. I'm not sure. This one I'm going to read as... I just want to make sure I don't mess this one up. I'm not sure if that one's need. I think I'm right. Give me just 1 minute. I want to make sure I don't mess this up. I'm pretty sure that one is need. Okay, it is. The negatives of human needs. Caution, hold, coming in touch with a side of you that you may not like, resistance, distress, delay, constraint, or restraint. Reflect on how bad things can and appreciate what you have. The reverse of this is improper course of action. Think twice before acting. Don't make hasty judgments. I've seen things in Raven's personality where, she'll only take so much abuse and gruff from someone and then they're out of her life. But it's important not to make hasty decisions. Don't make the decision too soon. People tend to hang themselves all by themselves without any help from us. If somebody should be removed from your life, they'll prove it on their own. They don't need any help. And I think that's important. And I think that might be a way of me telling Raven, take your time. These things work out on their own. If somebody's meant to be in your life, they'll be in your life. If they're meant to move on, if they're a charlatan, they'll do it to themselves. And I think in recent events, she would say I'm right. There's no reason to force the issue, or create an issue, or lose our temper, or pick a fight. That person, the truth will be found out. People can only pretend so long. And they know you're good-hearted, and they know how accepting you are. So give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. And then you remove them from your life. So always think twice, take your time, don't be rash in your judgments. But when the time comes, you'll know what to do when you take the time to make the right decision. And that's just a logical thing. I know it's easy to pray over things and give things up to God, whoever your God is, and whatever your denomination or faith is. But it's also important to remember that if you believe in God or gods or a higher being of any nature, that they gave you a head on your shoulders and a brain to think with, to make analytical decisions with. And it's important that you use the gifts that were given to you wisely. Take your time. Think things through. You know in your heart when it's right. And that's when you let people go from your life. Because remember, you have a big heart, but you only have so much room. The whole world can fit in there, but there's a lot that goes with that, and a lot of stress and strain. The bigger you make that circle, the harder it is for you. You're putting that stress on yourself. So think carefully, and you'll be just fine. Now we're going to look at the future. The future, this stone came up. And this is the cycle of the year again, which came up before. Reaping of a reward when your world seems stagnant. Harvest the seeds you have planted. Gain fruition. Things happening in their own time and space when they are supposed to. It cannot be reversed. Take your time. Do your art projects. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your heart. And that says Raven all over. She's taking the time to develop her children's book that's already on Amazon. You can get it there. And she's refining the book. She's making it better. She's taken the time to work her field, to sow those seeds perfectly, to make sure the crop and the harvest is perfect. Going back and making sure everything's just right with the book so it's the best product she could make. That's the mark of a great artist. Somebody who's never really happy and making sure they put everything into their art. I really do believe this is a good reading of her, and I feel confident about it. And it tells me a lot about her as a person. I thought she was taking too long to do the modifications to her book. And then I thought about it. She's taken the time to do it right, to make it right, to make it the best possible product, the best possible story, the most attractive story she can. I would have done it a lot quicker, and it would have been an inferior product. She's taking the time to do it right, and I know she's worried it's taking too long. This tells me I'm wrong and she's right. Take the time, do your projects, put as much effort into them as you can, and the end results will be a lot better and well worth the time involved. So I'm wrong and she's right on that one. Now, let's look at the past. Now this past stone, I don't know. This past stone is brute strength. Home loves all sides. Strength, health, changes, a forceful masculine archetype. The reverse is missed abilities, weak willpower, lack of motivation. Brute strength. That's what this is. Now, I know Raven. I know her family a little bit. And I really like them. I'm going to interpret this as the changes that she made through force of will, through force of strength in the last year or two. Moving to her dad's, moving closer to family, her family helping this talented lady. This lady who has a big heart and wants her life to be better. That's the strength. That's the brute strength. The fact that the force of will to pick up what you have in one place, a safe place, and go across this great nation to make a new start. That's strength. That's brute force of will and strength, the idea of going somewhere where you don't have a job, you don't have a home, nothing's really set in stone till you get there. That takes guts. Especially when there's, if it's just you, it's one thing. It's just you and your husband, it's another thing. But it's an entirely different thing when you have kids involved. And the strength of will that Raven and her family exhibited to make their life a success where they are now is exemplary. They've gone this far, but I know they're going to go that far. They're going to do great. And they're going to have great things happen in their life. The past is the brute strength, the test of will, and the force of will to go forward, to push forward in that new direction. The true test comes from using those gifts, using those talents, because strength can fail us. Strength can fade, and we can run down. But gifts, talent, force of will can push us further than our strength can. And that's going to be the true test as the future unfolds from the past. And that's what I see. I see a wonderful, positive rune reading here. Now, once again, I don't believe truly in divination. And I wouldn't want my friends to act on what I'm saying without thinking about their current situation and whether it fits in. But this tells me you took the chance. The present looks very good and it's going in the right direction. The future is where the great harvest comes. The wealth, the true reaping of the rewards that you've laid down today. The goodwill of family and friends and new people that you've met is coming into play because your heart's big enough to accept all of these changes and all of these new people and new experiences into your life. And you're talented enough to take these experiences and go forward with them. And where brute strength got you to here, talent and heart and hard work all together are going to push you well into the future. And all good things are coming your way. And that's what I see in this reading. Well, that about wraps it up for this week. I really enjoyed doing this Rune Stone reading. And I liked doing readings on my friends from YouTube. And you can go to their channels and you can see what these people are all about. You can also throw a comment below or ask them personally, what do you think? Was Tiara de Guelo correct with the reading, or was the channel way off? A lot of that can be interpretation. I know Raven. I do not know AlternateAurora. But I interpreted it the way I saw it through the person I have got to know in a very short time period. Am I correct or incorrect? Is it smoke and mirrors? I don't know. But what I do know is I've always had a hankering for doing Rune Stone readings. I just think they're so interesting. I have 3 different sets, and I'll change up what set I use to try and keep them fresh. But the runes are the same on all 3 sets. These were old Norse mythology stones that they used for divination purposes to teach people and to show people things and to guide people in their lives. They're a lot like tarot cards or looking through a crystal ball or even palm reading. They all come from the same idea. As I said before, I'm a more scientific-based person than a metaphysical, paranormal type person, but I do find them interesting. And if nothing else, it gave me a chance to talk great latitude, or speak positively of people I think a lot of as nice people. If you would like me to do a reading on your life or about your channel, especially those of you that I don't know that well, please leave a comment below asking me to do a reading for you, and in the future I will. I promise. If you do not like runestone readings, if you find divination against your religious beliefs or against the teachings that your family or your religion has, I would greatly appreciate those comments below. I am a Christian. I do not hide my beliefs. I am not a person who worships Norse mythology, nor do I believe in divination in particular, or other types of parlor tricks of this nature. But I do think they hold a value in giving people insight into each other's lives. And that was what we were trying to present today. We're trying to show you that if you open up your heart and mind and you speak to each other, communication can help people see things in their own lives that maybe they can't see by themselves. So it's a self-help tool, a self-improvement tool, if you will. If you disagree, please let me know. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll have some really cool new videos soon, including an ASMR cranial nerve examination of a ghost. That's right. Dr. Andrew Michaels gets trapped into giving a cranial nerve examination on a real live ghost. And you learn so much backstory about him through this storyline. I can't wait to present it to you. Hopefully we'll get those chapters up later this week. Until then, thank you so much for joining me, and have a most blessed day. Thank you. Bye-bye.